I don't know what the thought process was at Fox of putting them together, but it's a fitting bookend because we started with a 2-hour show. It's a fitting bookend for our show, and it does give us a nice, it makes it feel more important than just another hour of television to give us a block of time on a Friday night to sort of send us off into the sunset. And because this season is so linear, it would work even if it wasn't the plan, right? I mean, one show picks up literally from the moment the last show ends, so it follows on from a story point, from a story telling point as well. So I think that all works really well. And if 11 is the necessary sort of exposition episode where the all of the pieces are now together and it finally gets explained to us what exactly is going on, then 11 and 12, or sorry, 12 and 13 are the climax and summation of the entire show. There's not really an anti-climax. I guess there is in a certain way for the show. We just sort of we go out with a big bang. I knew what the broad strokes of it were because Joel has been so inclusive this year about bringing not just myself, but I'm sure everybody else as well, into what the story was going to be and what the points were for all of the characters and where they needed to finish up. And you had an inkling that it was going to be, the framing device was going to be a pretty massive, it just necessarily needed to be this giant conflict between the two sides, the two factions. And then because it is the last episode, my hope was that it could elegantly get all of the characters to their end place, that nobody got left behind, and also that the scenes didn't feel forced. I mean, you see that in movies a lot where, uh-oh, we're in the third act. We got to have Jimmy stop the whole movie here to tell Jane how much he loves her before he goes off to war or whatever. So I feel like Wyman achieved all of those goals. It's a huge, huge episode. I mean, it's like full action the whole way. And woven into that are moments that feel, at least to me, organic for all of the characters to have their moments to say whatever it is that they have needed to say, which is different for each one of the characters, the summation of their 5-year arcs, but they each have their chance to say their piece before the final cataclysm. My hope is, the truth is, everybody won't be satisfied. That's impossible. And I hope that for the people who enjoy it, I hope we got it right. I think for the people who have stuck with us for the 5 years, I hope the people that turn off the TV and are a little sad that their show is over, but are pretty happy with the way that it ended, then that's perfect. That's exactly what we wanted to do. And I hope for the people who are less satisfied that as they have a chance to maybe go out and talk to the rest of the Fringe community or have a second to sort of sit back and digest, that it feels right. And then my third rail hope is that in this modern world, just because we're done with Fringe doesn't mean you guys have to be done with Fringe. I have a funny feeling that Fringe will live on. There's such a tight-knit community, and there's a fan fiction community. I think there's a whole community of people who will keep the story of Fringe moving in whatever direction they want, which I think is actually really cool.